What is up, y'all? It's your boy Anaki. We are live. Last week, nice, quick and dirty. Uh, Stream, nice and short. This week, we'll see what happens. We're transitioning into a part of the series and where we're going to be kind of focusing on the development of the Enchanted Blades. We'll be examining Kunishige Rokahira's character motivations, and we're finally going to see, the development process and the reaction to and prep for the war itself. So, with that being said, let's get everything underway. I don't like to waste time. Get people who possibly watch the VOD the ability to just kind of hop right in. So, the Enchanted Blade Plan. Opening shot. In conclusion, March 21st, 3 a.m. Meeting of experts regarding the Enchanted Blade Plan. In conclusion, based on our analysis, we believe that in theory, this is a nice little essay here. We believe that in theory, the Enchanted Blade proposed by Master Yurita could be realized. It all hinges on the ability to create a vein of ore in the katana. This enables the blade to be charged with spirit energy like a battery, allowing the wielder to command enormous quantities of energy. Ooh, getting the breakdown on the actual physical blade and how they operate. I'm here for that. However, there's one major barrier. The Datsenseki is an iron ore. Before it can be forged into a katana, it must first be refined into steel. But the Datsenseki is heat reactive. When its temperature is raised beyond 1,000 degrees, it amplifies the fire and triggers an explosion of unfathomable magnitude. No matter how we run the math, people will die. And supposedly this swordsmith by the name of Kunishige Rokuhira, he claims he alone can do this. His explanation is extremely vague, but it's worth a try. Based on what? He was able to infer everything we discovered in our top secret experiments merely by looking at it. He has an unusual eye. A guy who works for the Sorcery Bureau brought him here completely unauthorized. You could have tipped him off in advance. But why would he do that? Good question. And the swordsmith, apparently, he's very young with minimal qualifications, hardly any track record. We're just going on Master Yurita's recommendation. He's only sold 3 katana. But that's why we're advocating for just one experiment to give him a chance to prove his claims. Just one experiment. Asumi, be rational. With the Datsenseki. Hey, what up, Tiger Blaster and Blob? With the Datsenseki, a single mishap could spell a tremendous calamity. We have only a tiny amount we have managed to extract from Irishima. And you're suggesting that we entrust that asset and the fate of our nation to some 2-bit swordsmith. He saw Mashiro's corpse. No wonder he's frantic. We've received a response from the Kagari clan. Uh-oh. Flamebone, the star of the starving, the mystical weapon proposed to counter the Mikaboshi, belongs to the Kagari clan of the fire sorcerers. Due to its immense power, very few are able to wield Flamebone. The wife of the patriarch will give birth in 6 months. Apparently, she suffered burns to her stomach due to her pregnancy. Normally, it's impossible for a member of the Kagari clan to sustain burns based on their physical makeup. This child will be the first Flamebone wielder in 400 years. We already have a name, Yuki. Ooh. Hiyuki stocks, boys. Make sure you're buying them. Listen here, extra, read all about it. Hiyuki stocks have gone up. If you're not invested now, honestly, you should have been invested since about chapter 20, but if you haven't been already, then it's time to get on board the hype train. Hiyuki stocks are only going to hot. 3 months after birth, they can begin test runs, after which various fine-tuning will be required so that Flamebone can be wielded a year from now. In other words, if we wait 1 year, we have a chance at victory. It's a much more realistic plan than this enchanted blade business. Realistic to wait a year? They'll invade before then. We have to buy time. Chiaki. Ooh, that's alarming. Chapter 123, Chiaki. Chiaki, fold these, please. Okay. The previous princess came into the role around the time I was born. Chiaki? And she's just staring off. Fold, fold, fold. Once when I was little, she taught me how to make tea. Hey, what up, Cameron Bailey? If nobody got me, Cameron Bailey got me. Once when I was little, she taught me how to make tea. She was a beautiful woman. The day the power of the prophecy came to me is etched clearly in my memory. For one thing, I'd never seen my mother so frantic since it was the first time in history it showed up in a minor offshoot of the family. But also, it was the last time I touched Kunishige. Oh, the yearning. There's what people want. The yearning, even though I think some people will be upset because it's her yearning, but still. I was outside that day. He was giving her a piggyback ride. How cute. I was outside that day when I suddenly lost consciousness. Kunishige carried me home. Apparently, my mother gave him a good scolding. Kunishige was a part of a gang of neighborhood kids I used to play with when I didn't have chores. And yep, we see the nefariousness depicted in this image. I mean, don't get me wrong for how Togo Shiba grew up. Yeah. Sogo, Kunishige, Sochan. It's just little Azami. Little squirts. A bunch of dumb kids doing dumb stuff together. You can't play with those kids anymore. Starting today, you represent our system of order. You have a very important job protecting our society. You were chosen by fate. It is a tremendous honor. Nobody want this, bro. Don't nobody want this. The fact that she just like passed out and everything, rough. I was hardly allowed outside anymore, and I wasn't allowed to hang out with some nobody guy. Like this? Who's calling? Some nobody guy? Kunishige? Oh, who's calling me some nobody guy? Kunishige? Terrible handwriting. You've got mail. Oh, man. I just realized that a good chunk of my audience is. You guys remember that? You've got mail. You know that one? No? All right. Let me shut up. This lets me know that the translator and letterer, though, are definitely older, or at least in my age range, or older. Bro, I have no, like, I saw Sogo and I was just like, I'm gonna just roll past this. I don't know how you messed that up, but I'm gonna just roll past it and I'm gonna hope it was a joke. Back then, I still had vague hopes that somehow one day, you know, the letter, it was one of my attendants that told me, who told on me, but I hid them. We're already a minor offshoot of the main family. How many times have I told you how important it is to have impeccable manners? See, first off, I would say if I was Chiaki, it'd be fuck you and the clique you claim. But what I'll say is this, is that if I am Chiaki and I got the special princess powers, bro, suck my dick. Well, in her case, her metaphorical dick. But suck my dick, bro. You're not about to tell me who I can be friends with. You're going not about to, because I just won't tell you about my next prophecy. Straight up. I'll pass out in the middle of dinner, wake up, you be like, oh, you had a vision? Yup. You gonna tell me? No. What do you mean no? Because you won't let me hang out with my niggas. Either I get to ride for my niggas or you die for my niggas. I ain't gotta die for my niggas. You can die for my niggas. You know what I'm saying? See? And like, I'm like, yo, mom, you gotta go kick rocks. It is what it is. Go stub your toe on the Lego, then step on the D4, baby. Because I'm having some fun. But also, like, I wouldn't want to go from actually getting to enjoy my life sometimes. Like, nah, bro. It is what it is. Like, yeah, and yeah, okay, yeah, Tiger Blast. That's another thing, right? You telling people to have manners, but you mad at the person who helped your daughter get home safely. You talking about manners, and instead of saying thank you, my daughter passed out in the middle of the street. You got her home safely and made sure she wasn't kidnapped. You got an attitude problem because she came in a physical contact with them. Man, kill yourself. Go 0-1 right now. You don't even make sense. Yeah, I'm a little confused about because like the whole there's finally going to be a flame bone user, a viable flame bone user, so in a year we'll be okay. Nigga, that's a baby. I was gonna wait until we got to the end of this chapter, but that's a baby. You know, just like, and maybe flame bone, like when you use the full thing, is like an entity, and so like you'd be able to just put a baby on the front line and be like, go activate, tickle tickle. Here, you get no breast milk. Oh, now you're angry. Boom, flame bone activates. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was gonna be, but what are you talking about? Ready in a year? Nani? But yeah, maybe they was gonna use aging magic. I don't know. Maybe that exists. Sorceries haven't been that crazy in this series though, so we'll see. For now, I managed to convince them that some random stranger was sending them without your consent, Chiaki, but it can't happen again. Man, also whoever snitched, if I was the mom, see if Chiaki was my daughter, right? I'm coming in there, I'm gonna be all like, look, if this who my daughter wanna hang out with, and I met this boy, he cool, he valid. He coming out here. Nah, bro, quit playing with us. And then if one of her attendants tried to snitch, bro, I'm bitch smacking that attendant, bro. Because why you snitching on my daughter? You supposed to be attending to her. Your loyalty should be to her and her first. And you snitching? Nah, you gotta die, bro. I'm smacking you and your cousin. Not your siblings, your cousin. I wanted to be somebody who isn't as close to you, but is still being dragged into it. Like, you out your damn mind. And please do. I love good meme art. Because hydrogen baby versus coughing bomb does seem to be what they were describing, and I'm like, what? uh, but also I do like the fact that the flame bone we're getting, like the lore detail we got on flame bone lets us know that it's like this ancient weapon, and so it could easily be the manifestation of the byproduct of somebody's sorcery. Point is, we're gonna get more on that later. I'll probably ramble about that a little bit later after this too. But for now, maintaining order requires that all sorcerers' clans follow unwritten rules. They're allowed to practice their activities at a certain level as long as they're discreet and cause no disturbance to the general public. If even one clan violates that understanding and oversteps the limitations, it will be revealed in a prophecy as a disturbance to the nation. If the Soga princess names them, they must answer to the sword of justice. Her prophecies could even determine the survival of the clan. The Soga princess can't behave like an individual. Any mistrust would cause the whole system to collapse. Don't you ever forget who you are. You're responsible for the course of history. I understood the logic, but after that incident, I had a vision. You see a bunch of stuff destroyed. If I didn't take my role seriously, this would be the consequence. More than anything, I was terrified of putting Kunishige in danger. And we see they burned the letters. If this is my role till my dying day, at the very least, if I can protect you. Oh, man. See, the thing that's like hard about this, also, let me check Discord real quick, is that because she's not. Hold up. Hold up. This is peak right here. You just I love this because it perfectly encapsulates exactly what I felt like they were describing. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's amazing. Like when you see, and when you're reading stuff like this, and they have ideas like that, it genuinely becomes amazing that the world even functions. Because how are you that stupid? Like, what do you mean? You said that's Yura's house? Hold up. Hold up. See the boats. Huh. I mean, the implication would be that Yura is a lot closer to these guys than anybody's realized. If only I'd warned them better, maybe this wouldn't have. You gave them the strongest possible. They made their own choices. This isn't your fault. The enemy is demanding my surrender. If that means avoiding the worst case scenario, I don't mind. I can't let any more. Don't be ridiculous. You're the most important. I am not important. I've forgotten that warmth. That the me that is Princess Soga isn't important to me. See, okay, so I don't like this because why would you do this on my birthday, Hokazano? Why would you put this event on my birthday? I don't want that. I don't want that. Don't tie this to me. March 24th, the Enchanted Blade plan proposed by Shinsaku Hasumi is rejected. The Sorcery Bureau conditionally accepts the Mikaboshi demands. They agree to surrender Princess Chiaki Soga. What kind of bullshit is that? Oh shit, yeah. See, and they've been downplaying that, like they make it seem like she can only see stuff that's up close. But all right. Now I'm curious. See, bro, I cannot wait for us to get more actual information on Yura. I cannot wait. Conditionally, a 1 year truce, she will bear my child. Well, that's extremely convenient for the Mikaboshi. But she's from a minor branch of the family. No, 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 no. March 24th is my birthday. The in story event where they give up Princess Chiaki is on my birthday. Like, bro, what are you doing to me here? Don't tie that to me. I don't want that. Okazano's punishing me for not remembering enough names. Even if Princess Chiaki has a baby, the power of the prophecy will pass to the child descended from the core bloodlines. Oh, I'm gonna talk about that. In other words, either way, the Sogu clan will retain the power of prophecy that signifies our system of order. Does that make it okay to force Chiaki to bear the child of the Mikaboshi king? I was against it. Wait just 1 minute. What makes you so sure that Chiaki's child won't inherit the power? After all, it never showed up in a minor branch before, right? Never officially. In the Soga clan, the primary bloodline reigns supreme. Many deem it improper for power to be relegated to a minor branch as it is now. Nobody says it out loud. They've been waiting for this opportunity. Are you saying this actually suits the Soga clan's agenda? Not to mention the Sorcery Bureau, which benefits from the Soga clan's allegiance. That's why this decision, most importantly, she agreed to it. The Irishima incident was extremely upsetting for her. They're taking advantage of her vulnerability. A year from now, if we can command Flamebone, our chances improve dramatically. But if they invade us now, all is lost. Compared to the hopeless situation we're in now, we have no other choice. when my mother da 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 me at the I want to see you again Chiaki. And this right here, this is the face of a man who's going to make a lot of nukes. Cause the fuck you mean you take the girl I love away from me, you deny her access to me, you then turn around and you pimp her out? Oh yeah. I'm murdering everybody. Fuck you got you I can finally eat. This listen. See this is what they don't understand. This is what they don't understand, okay? Kunishige Rokuhira is a man who has been nerfed for the past 3 years, maybe more. He grew up poor. He wasn't getting proper nutrition. He hasn't been getting proper nutrition. He's like 3 inches shorter than he could have been. His brain isn't always able to focus. He's got a lot of brain fog due to starvation. But this nigga just ate a national chef's rice ball. 2 of them even. And do you know what that means? That means he's getting adequate nutrition now. That means his brain is firing on all cylinders. You thought he could see things before? He's about to see the future without the gift. And in that future, you don't wake up. None of you do. You violate the woman he loves? Oh, bad. You getting your dick cut off. And your son's dick is getting cut off. Everybody getting cut off. And here's the thing. Is that Kunishige, I'm going to tell you right now, this is what's about to happen. They're going to sit here and they're going to try to give Chiaki away. And all that's going to happen is Kunishige and Shiba's going to be like, what? They trying to pimp Chiaki? Nah, bro. Fuck all that. Because none of them care about all that Soga clan politic bullshit. What's going to happen is Shiba's going to steal some Datanseki. Kunishige is going to make a test enchanted blade. It might blow up or something will go wrong, and they're gonna murder a lot of people and get Chiaki back before the year is over, before she ends up pregnant. All of that. They're saving her. This shit is not going down how the Mikaboshi think, and if a damn show ain't going down like the government think. But what I do like about this is that it once again highlights how in war, usually both governments are the bad guys. Because the government is sitting here like, yo, let's pimp out this miner real quick so that we can send a 1-year-old to battle. This is an intelligent plan. Yes, we are very smart. We have studied many scrolls. We know many words. We have power. Ooga. Baby best bet. Yes, let's send a 1-year-old to the front lines instead of a fucking nigga strapped with a nuke. You are getting hoed by Datanseki. You're getting hoed. Getting long dicked. Just bow, bow, bow. Cream pie. Like, you sent your top squad of hitters, and they all died by snoo snoo, and she became back pregnant with trauma. Pregnant with it. Everybody was fertilized. Then he passed that trauma on to his friend. Now everybody pregnant with trauma. The whole squad pulling up. Traumatized and filled with the energy of a young man. Do you know how much energy a 19-year-old man has? An absurd amount of energy. It's insane, actually. Like young people don't understand what their energy stores are really like. I do now because I'm past 30 and I get what it's like to be young and way more vital than I am now, even with depression. These niggas have awoken the beast. He's going to be pulling all-nighters, shaping swords. And yeah, Akamura has to Itachi the Soga clan because this is crazy. This is crazy. And you know what? I see it. Because first off, your power is you get warnings about bad things. That's your power. You don't even get to see cool shit. Like you get a vision and it's like, damn, that person I like is about to get shot full of holes. Damn, my favorite landmark is getting destroyed in 3 weeks. Better make a quick trip. Damn, I guess I'm gonna be in a wheelchair in 2 months. What? Damn, like bro, you see nothing. You're constantly being controlled. You're being regulated. You don't get to decide who your friends are. It's basically like you're not alive. You're surviving. You're surviving with money. And that's not how anybody really wants to live. You're a princess, but do you feel like one? Do you feel like royalty? Like that shit sucks. It sucks. So guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, "Fuck that, I'm out." So if the previous princess killed herself, I would believe it. I will 100% believe it. In fact, since she took the time to teach Chiaki how to make tea, I wouldn't be surprised if the way it actually worked is that like a person that they value or care is who that power is passed to. And that's how Chiaki ended up getting that because she, put that extra love and attention towards her and boom, power passed on that way. And now Chiaki's stuck with it. Exactly. Her mom doesn't see her as a human being. So like her life, shit, what I expect to actually happen is either they pray to save Chiaki or, and like, here's the thing is that, here's the thing. And Okazano hasn't been crazy dark, but I could see Hokazano getting really dark with this Chiaki story because I feel like if the Mikabo, like the year time frame, gives them enough time to take Chiaki and force a child on her, right? But we know that Chihiro is realistically Rokuhira Kunishige's son. They have the same eyes, their hair placement is the same. Like the character design is geared towards making sure we see them as related. But we did have that mentioning of the blood test a while back, so maybe that's not the case. The blood tests are either going to confirm that Kunishige Rokuhira gave birth to him, or it's going to tell us that Chihiro is a Soga Mikaboshi baby. That'd be a hell of a twist by making them look similar and have like the spitting image of each other and have the same eyes and all that other stuff. That would be a crazy ass twist. I don't think I'd like that twist. Like that, there's a red herring and then there's just like straight up doing whatever you feel like, and that feels more like the second than the first. And so, but I could easily see Chiaki ending up pregnant and then trying to kill herself and losing that baby, but being saved by the boys. And it feels apt to call them the boys because that's what they feel like in this universe. Like Azami, Kunishige, and Shiba, they feel like the boys of this universe. Like, and see, that's the thing is that I just don't see. So yeah, and like, no, I don't mean Kunishige gave birth to him. My bad. I just mean like Kunishige clearly like sired him, like right. It wouldn't make sense. And now, like that's like in the dark realm, right? Like Hokazano doesn't have to go that dark. Maybe he's not trying to lean that far into it. But nothing about the Mikaboshi suggests to me that if Chiaki is sent to the Mikaboshi, they're going to be like, here, how about you get adjusted to your new surroundings? And we'll consummate the marriage once you're comfortable and feel like you really belong here. That's like, this dude is blatantly a rapist, right? Like let's not pretend like he's anything else. This dude is a rapist. Even if we say, oh, he has no, like if you feel that entitled to a woman, like this dude is a rapist. And so if Chiaki is actually sent to him, unfortunately, unless they attack the day she's sent over, That's what's happening. And so I don't really want Chiaki to be stuck getting raped by an old man. So I'd love it if they made the blade like tomorrow. Because Kunishige said, "Nah, I can do this," and like I like I said, like this is Kunishige is what I see happening here. Like this kind of, actually the face he's making here kind of reminds me of like early Chihiro faces where he's like, "Yeah, I'm killing you. It's going down this way." And so what I see happening here is Kunishige takes that little bit of Dasansaki that he already saw, gets to work, and is like, "Boom! Look, I can make something with it. Here's a prototype. You said you didn't want to do my plan. Here's a prototype. We ain't sending them shit. Don't ever disrespect me again." Now, I do want to talk a little bit more on the flame bone subject because it's a little comedic, right? Like this idea. Also, I like the fact that there's like the sealing technique here. They very clearly had to do some protective spells on the mother to keep her safe from Hiyuki. This also lets you know that Hiyuki's base sorcery skills are probably just insane. This does make me feel confident that we will see more Hiyuki going forward, and that a large part of the reason why she took a backseat in that arc is so that they didn't have a non-enchanted blade but enchanted blade level fighter on the battlefield. See, I just the Mikaboshi, I can't see them being patient enough for them to do that. Like that would be one of those this is blatantly us doing this so that the story doesn't have to get so dark, which I'm fine with technically. It's just I'm aware of that being the narrative reason. It's not because like they're not good enough people, right? Like they're just not. So that would be a nice. That would be nice because, like I said, these guys are basically, as far as they're the boys of their universe. So if Shiba is gonna just kidnap her and say, "Nah, bro, we're not doing that," thank you. Actually, this would actually make it make sense as to why Shiba doesn't really work with the Kamonabi, because he straight up betrayed the government to steal Chiaki away during this time period, and he would have betrayed the government technically even by showing the Datsenseki to Kunishige. The Kaichi thing kind of threw me off, and then I found out that it was like demon monster or something. So there's like that translation. I'm gonna have to like look back into that. But last week I also was like just a little busier and like kind of got through that stream real quick, so might have to review that some. Uh, but the thing about the thing that's bugging me with the flame bone though, even ignoring the jokes about they'll finally have a user, the if they if we don't go full meme, if we don't go full meme lord here and just joke about the baby, is it possible that by Hyuki being born, she's like a conduit, and by extension that would allow her to, or like allow others while working with her to access the flame bones abilities? Like it's so that's the one thing that I guess I'll say is like it's true that they don't want her to die. I just don't see them caring about her comfort. Um, Especially because, and obviously they're not aware that they killed a bunch of her friends. It's hard for me to wrap my head around these guys caring about the comfort of somebody from the Soga clan when their entire motivation is the Soga clan's destruction. So it's a little touch and go. I was actually, see, this chapter is crazy good. I was really hoping that we were going to get more of Urutu Subaru and us getting some of the blade smithing in this chapter. But instead, which it's worth noting that the same guy who kind of seems to be pushing back against the idea of going with the Enchanted Blade plan. Also, is the guy that was ready to kill the barrier man. So it's like he's always been like a hard ass that thinks he's making tough decisions. It's weird though, because with the barrier guy, he was like cold and calculating, but here it feels like he's not being cold and calculating. And I guess I guess the problem is here is right. Arguably, we're metagaming when we look at him not wanting to go with this plan. And the reason why I say we're metagaming here is because we know metagaming in the sense of like D&D or other tabletop games, but we're metagaming because we know that the Enchanted Blades work. But at this point in time, all the Datsenseki has been done is blown up people. And Kunishige Rokuhira has zero credibility. And so when we look at it as Rokuhira has no credibility currently, he's made some nice blades, but the only thing they have is Subaru. And the thing about Subaru is that he had a lot of credibility, but he undermined himself here when he was talking about his book, and he says it's all bullshit. Because now, yes, he may seem like a good swordsman, a good swordsmith, excellent chef, but ultimately, he just told you I'm a liar. And so now, even if Subaru vouches for somebody, it doesn't really matter because he's an established liar. It doesn't necessarily hold the weight it would have if he had said something, 2 weeks ago. So, but we all know, like, without any extra explanation of the flame bone, that Hydrogen Baby is an absurd plan. Also, this makes me really wish that Chihiro had not used his flame bone Aka so early in the story. And something that I'd really like to see is when the Ensign is reforged, I would love for Aka to be explored a bit more, in the sense that I would like for Chihiro to spar with people and just get a nice little stockpile of Aka abilities. Because if the Flame Bone is this powerful and we've seen he's capable of storing Flame Bone attacks, then I see no reason for him not to just absorb as many as possible while also giving Hiyuki practice against fighting Enchanted Blade wielders. So it's both beneficial for him and her. She gets more training. He gets more ability stockpile and becomes a more dangerous fighter. One thing that I'll also address here is that, and this is a really random thing, but I noticed it just kind of looking at all the women. And I remember I saw a post on Twitter about this where Hokozano mentioned that he's not good at drawing women. And somebody said, it's not that Hokozano is bad at drawing women. He just can't draw boobs. And I do think that seems to be what he really meant. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that definitely seems to be what he actually meant. When I look at this chapter, which this might be the chapter we've seen the most women in now that I think about it. So Kagurabachi probably doesn't pass the Bechdel test, but that's not the end of the world. Yes, and I do believe I was talking about Izaru. Also, the fact that we haven't had a lot of Soga Akamura. Okay. So I genuinely think that this is part of why I think Chiaki has to be sent away. Or at the very least, she has to be sent or taken, and Akamura cannot know. Because I think his hatred of the Mikaboshi has to be organic. He's a very dedicated swordsman. He wants to be on the front lines already. But I think the thing to build his zeal and build his desire has to be them taking his sister and him really, really wanting to take that extra step. And so I think that as his motive is going to make a lot of sense. It's going to come down to whether or not we actually get, because whenever he steps into the story, he's going to be probably taking front and center. Uh, like right now, we're focused more on Chiaki and Kunishige, which is good because we spent a bit of time. So what we're doing here, from what I can see, what Hokuzanos going for here is he's establishing the main players in the Seitei War on our side. So from our perspective, really, right? So the Irishima Talks is an arc or a subsection of this arc, whichever one I'm going to call it, that focuses in on Shiba, his motivations, what gets him to be the person he is in the war, and the person he becomes today. This one we get like a small Azami crumb, and we got Azami crumbs in like the Shiba section and in this section. So I kind of hope that we do take a detour and just spend a couple chapters on Azami. I would really appreciate that, just because I kind of want to see how the medical family guy turns into the ultimate brawler. But this section seems to be a lot more focused on Kunishige. And obviously, all of these are setting the stage for the story itself. But Kunishige and Chiaki's relationship seems to be the focus here. And then we're going to probably transition as the blades are made. Once the swords are actually here, we're going to probably switch over to the Akamura Soga section, because that's going to focus more on the swordsmanship, the development of him, and then also, of course, incorporating the other blade wielders as well. Then we'll probably get some time with the Yuraha, Samura. And of course, I think it's worth noting, part of the reason why Yuraha loves Kunishiga Rokuhira so much is because we know that when the enchanted blades are made, Kunishige is like 20, 21. And so Yuraha is also within the same age group. It's like the Natsuki, how he kept referring to Natsuki in really friendly terms. That bond is partially caused by that age, like less of an age gap. And so I think actually getting to see some time where the two of them got to interact, because I believe that he would still be like Kunishige is still older than Yuraha, but it's not going to be by such an like extreme margin as it is with like Samura or some of the other characters. So there's that as well. At least I don't think he's as much older, because Yuraha got his blade when he was 17, I want to say, and Natsuki's like a year older, and I believe Kunishige was said to be 19, maybe even 18 here. Uh, yeah, so we got some more people from the Kamunabi to explore. Obviously, I don't think all of them will get as much time, but I think certain characters are being saved. So I think we're gonna explore, especially like the older members, people who are really high up in the Kamunabi. I think we're gonna get a little more time on them as well, and we do have to spend some time. In my opinion, we should be spending some time with the guy who betrayed the Kamunabi, just so we can get a better view of his perspective. Obviously, just with the nature of war, you can always, you know how war is, and we see how people were getting dogged at the Hiroshima talks. And let's be real here. As soon as the war, like as soon as whatever plan they have with Princess Chiaki here goes left, the violence is going to be back on. And once that violence is back on, we're going to see, you know, more likely like a kind of a, I don't want to say like a pivot, but we're going to see why the enchanted blades are needed again. And a lot of people are going to be sitting on those front lines or doing things, seeing battles working, the medical tents, whatever the case may be. And they're going to have their own justifications and takeaways for what they do in the war and following it. So it could be one of those things that just gets chalked up to, well, he was in the war and that's just a side he took. I do think we're going to get some actual explanation on his own thoughts. Also, I'm watching my daughter like try to pick an episode of something on YouTube using the Xbox controller. And it's just one of those things where it's like, your kid just keeps growing and growing. Oh, you're gonna, that one? What about that one? No? Okay. Okay. You want some help? You need some help? But Also, my wife has gotten the iPad version of hold on of Stardew Valley. So now my daughter likes to play Stardew Valley on an iPad at the age of 3. But she doesn't know what she's doing really. She's just kind of vibing it out, and so she calls it Little Genie though, so she gets to play with the little genie. Goes around and does stuff. So, but yeah, um, I just feel really bad for Princess Chiaki in this though because she got her life taken from her for an due to what the hell is that a dragonfly in my house? Hold on, y'all. I gotta take care of this giant ass bug. It's like it's big enough that as it bumps into things, I can hear it thumping. All right, y'all. I apologize for that. That was a wasp, and if there's one thing I don't play about, it's wasp. So, especially one. I got a 3-year-old. I'm not letting a wasp get my baby. Two, I've been stung by a wasp before, and that shit sucks. So check it, and that one was like, yo, like this big. It's fucking crazy. But that wasp that stung me, right? It landed next to me on the bus, and then it disappeared, and I was like, all right, it's gone. And then all of a sudden, bow, stabs me in the back of the neck. I'm like, yo, what is this? I'm like, ah. It's hiding in my clothes. Like, it's like a minute later. Bow, stings me in the stomach. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I don't play. If a wasp shows up in my house, it's got to get out. I don't do that. I do not play with wasp. And that was when I was working this call center job, and I remember because it stung me in the neck, the like little poisons that they have, shit like kind of wears down on your muscles. So my neck started hurting. I was trying to sit there, look at my computer screen. My head was in pain. Could not keep my head up. I was like, look, man, I'm trying to leave work early. I got stung by a wasp in the back of my neck. And I was talking to the scheduling department, and they were like, oh, yeah, you can go. Like, it instantly approved the LEA I put in on my schedule. Let me go. I was like, thank God, I'm out of here. Went home and laid down. That shit was awful. Actually awful. Like, definitely top 5 minor inconvenience type pains I've ever experienced in my life. Bro, bee sting should have been wasp sting. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And if we're saving wasp sting for a later attack, dear Lord, I don't want to. I'm terrified for the nigga who gets hit with wasp. Man, okay, and that's another thing about wasp, right? I remember I knocked on this dude's door while I was doing door to door. This nigga had like 3 wasp nests forming on his house, and I'm like, bro, you mad at me for knocking on your door? You don't even use this door, clearly, because you know you got wasp nest on your door. You gotta get that fixed. Oh yeah, no, I ain't go to the doctor for it. It was cool after that day, like maybe like 1 or 2 days. I was fine afterwards. It just hurt like hell, and I bounced back. You know what I'm saying? But that was in my, I think I was 20. Yeah, that would have been in 2017. That was in 2017, so I was 24 when that happened. I don't know. Maybe now I would go to a doctor after some shit like that, because that was almost 10 years ago. Damn. Yeah, man. Like, here's the thing. I'm not like afraid of bugs. Like, I'm not afraid of them. But a wasp is my enemy, dog. You can't be up in here. Like that one, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a little paper plate, tried to smack it with the paper plate. It didn't want to die to the paper plate. So then I had to get the lighter. That's why you saw me come back on camera. I opened my shorts that I was wearing, got this lighter. Because now I'm not gonna rely on just crushing you. I'm gonna make sure you can't fight back. So I lit him on fire a couple times, and he was still moving. Put him on the plate, threw him outside. Now whatever happens, happens. He's either gonna be a gangster wasp that survives and goes on and do other things with his life, or he's gonna be eaten by a bird or some shit. I don't know. But hopefully he tells his friends, don't go to that house. They'll light you on fire up in that hole. That shit ain't sweet. All right. Knock that paper out, bro. Get it popping. But yeah. So, actually, I think we almost at an hour. And like I said last week, we're in that building section of the story. So I'm gonna try not to spend too much time on this stuff, because right now we're like I can already see that like I said, this formula we're gonna get is We're gonna start building for a couple chapters, then we're just gonna get bomb, 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 bomb. So we're just gonna have multiple, like, each every 8 chapters or so is basically like a volume structure. We're gonna be getting some heavy ass weights. So with this storyline, we're gonna get the creation of like at least the first enchanted blade. We're probably gonna segue a little bit into Akamura towards the end of this story beat. Hey, I'll tell you this. He was watching me as I was like trying to make my move, and then like I held the plate in front of him, and it was like the green distracted him, and he was like, you know, but I don't know, man. Look, genuinely, if he survives, I'll be impressed. Cause thrown out, lit on fire, and I don't think his wings was working anymore. I'm gonna be honest. He tried to take flight. I saw his wings like flapping. He ain't going there. I was like, all right, bet the fire did damage to your wings. That's good enough. That means I can get you on this plate, and it's gonna be real hard for you to get to me. Threw him out the window. I didn't even see him like take off as he was bouncing. He like bounced, like pop, pop, pop. Fell off the side. If I go outside right now, he's probably laying in the grass. Telling his homies. Actually. All right. All right. So I need the spiders outside my window to do a better job. There's a spider web up there. That's why I was like, ah, what the fuck? But yeah. Hey, by then, my descendants are gonna have even more control over fire. We're a nation of firebenders, man. I'm telling you. That's how I handle a lot of bugs. Though. I'm like, ooh, all right, I'm gonna just move this lighter nice and close to you, and boom, you're gone. Because they also then they're less likely to like try to attack you and more likely to just deal with the fact that they're in a lot of pain, and then you can just get them out of there. Now, if they're like more peaceful, less aggressive types, we can just put them on the plate and throw them outside. Because my wife doesn't like it when I kill the bugs, even though she's terrified of them. It's real weird. Like my wife will scream seeing some bugs, but she also doesn't want me to just murk them and put them on t-shirts. Whereas me, I'm like, hey yo, I didn't invite you here. You gotta go. Yeah, nah. Then see, if it was a cockroach, it just would have got packed up. Because I, you don't even gotta go tell your die. If I find any more, they'll die too. We ain't wasting no time. Die today. Ain't shit friendly or sweet out here. All gotta die. Can't let roaches live at all. Roaches because they're gross. Wasp, those are ops. But yeah. Spiders are the homie. I'll let a spider chill here anytime. Spiders, I let spiders hang around. Because spiders kill the annoying ones, right? Nah, bro. The wasp develops reverse curse technique because I threw it out a window. That's crazy. It's spiraling, falling, knowing it should be able to fly but can't. Pure, like, see, that's the thing, right? Is that I feel like wasps are similar to cursed spirits, and that they're too hate fueled and designed to be able to properly utilize reverse curse technique or curse technique reversal or reverse technique. You know what I'm saying? Also, now I gotta look and see if that thing about wasps having good memories is true. Now I'm curious. I already know it's gonna hit me with some AI. Yep. All right, so because I immediately like if you Google anything, you immediately oh no. Oh wait here. I'm looking at a wasp thing right now. See. All right. According to this, I'm gonna have to invest in more fire. That's what I got out of this. All right, bro. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm enlisting everybody who's even heard of Kagurabachi to join me in my war on Wasp. This is a draft. This is not a request. If you see a wasp, you kill it. That's the final message of this stream. Uh, we are now at war with the wasp. All Bachi Bros unite. Uh, for your families, for mine, for the future of whichever country you happen to live in. Eventually, we'll find our way to make our enchanted insecticides, and we will take out all wasps going forward. And the future will be wasp free. Salute. Uh, I think the section of the story I'm looking forward to most now is the works. I do want to see if Hiyuki is dropped like an enchanted bomb, little baby. I gotta see how they're gonna leverage Flame Bone because this is an insane. Like this section of the story with the Hiyuki thing. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? So I gotta see what's gonna happen with this because it's fucking insane. Um, and then I want to see how long it takes Kunishige to pull up with an enchanted blade prototype because depending on how long it takes and what happens to them, we also have the potential for shenanigans down the line with people showing up with prototype weapons and other things besides just raw Datsenseki, which creates some nice mid-tier slash different tier enemies for us to look at, different ways for it to be used. Um, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this because this is the part where it's like, okay, how are we gonna be executing on this? Because I'm always a fan of getting the politics of stories, even if in this particular case we don't have a way to necessarily discuss because they want to buy time. They want to figure out how to get around this, but I don't think the hydrogen baby plan is the best plan. So yeah, but I still want to see more, and I always take the introduction and more information on any of the sorcery families in the series. But whatever we get, I'm here for it. Please, 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 somebody get Chiaki away from this Soga clan, though. But don't send them to the Mikaboshi either. So I'm hoping Shiba steals them. Fuck this truce. Let's find a way to make something happen without sending it like pimping out a 17-year-old. I would really appreciate if we did not pimp out a 17-year-old. That's my personal stance on this one. I don't go get it together, get your weight up, figure out how to fight and kill these people without pimping out a 17-year-old. And Kunishige, show him why you're the greatest. Um, and also, I think the reason why Kunishige doesn't accept or want the title of hero is because Chiaki's dead. I think Chiaki is dead, and that's why Kunishige doesn't want to be called a hero, because ultimately he couldn't keep his wife safe. I think that's what that comes down to. They had a child. It was a boy, though, so he doesn't get the prophecy. They're going to get, yeah. But I also think, like you said in the chat, Akamura is probably wiping out the Soka clan, and I'm okay with that. They got to go. These kinds of clans, I'm always ready to see them get axed. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for stopping by today. Always remember to, if you can, leave a like. Share if you got anybody who you know likes Kagurabachi and you think they'd appreciate these streams. And if you're watching as a VOD, leave a comment. YouTube likes engagement. All these platforms want you to do a whole bunch of stuff. To them, it's not enough if you watch it all the way to the end or let it play to the end. You got to be actively engaged. That's just how they look at it. So thank you guys for your time. You all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week.